Take it to Capitol Hill now, where the Senate is working on President Trump's massive budget bill. Yesterday, the Finance Committee released a draft text for its portion of the legislation. It includes some significant changes from the House's version of the bill, including steeper Medicaid cuts. Let's bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian, who's tracking the latest on this from Capitol Hill. Nicole, can you walk us through some of the major changes in the Senate's version of the bill?
Yeah, well, a lot of it is around some of the same issues we've been talking about for some time with respect to this big, beautiful bill in terms of Medicaid. Obviously, we know that the Senate wanted to put its imprint on some of the changes. Obviously, a big component of the House bill was adding those work requirements for able-bodied individuals. That, for the most part, remains intact. But what the Senate has now done is they have adjusted what's called the provider tax, bumping that down to 3.5%. Why is that significant? Well, states use that provider tax in part to fund the Medicaid programs in their state. So lowering that amount could potentially lower the amount of federal funding in turn that some of these states have for the Medicaid program, and that's why some are concerned and perceive this as a significant cut to the program. You also have this issue of the state and local tax deductions. Of course, that was something that was carefully negotiated on the part of blue state Republicans over in the House. They wanted to raise the cap on those deductions to $40,000 because they argue, look, people in our districts pay too much in terms of state and local taxes. We want to raise the amount that they can deduct. So they had negotiated that upwards of $40,000 that could be deducted. But now that has been bumped back down to the original cap, which was $10,000, although it would be extended on a permanent basis. So that has some House Republicans up in arms over those changes. And then, of course, there are some changes that were made to some of the tax provisions that would extend the president's tax cuts, making some of those permanent instead of temporary. You also have some changes made to some of the green energy portions of this bill. You remember over in the House, conservatives really wanted to roll back as much of those programs as possible under the Inflation Reduction Act, but under the Senate version, they have taken a softer axe, if you will, to not roll back as many programs and credits under that particular initiative.